higher than the academic awards or military awards, I have finally reached the height of being able to be a beggar. I have learned what it means to be a beggar. You see, I don't beg for myself because there's nothing on God's earth that I want or that I need. I just pray for my family and my friends, that they have good health and good spiritual health, the greatest gift for all. But you see, I don't beg for myself. As I said, I don't need anything. But I beg for a friend of ours. He's sitting on your back porch today. His name is Lazarus. A bit chilly, too. But I'm going to encourage you to bring Lazarus into your home and give him some lunch, because I know you can afford a piece of bread. But Lazarus doesn't know how to get a piece of bread. You see, he's real, but he's also a symbolic figure. Lazarus represents 15 million people who die on this planet every year from starvation. Not accidents, not illness, not old age, primarily children. 15 million, think about that. And when you think about it, it makes you angry when you realize that food has almost nothing to do with it. Food's not part of the equation. We have enough food and enough potential to grow food to feed every man, woman, child, cat, dog, turtle, dove, bird, whatever pet you've got into obesity. So why do 50 million people die? What's the number one reason for destitution in the world? The number one reason is corruption in government. No, there's another word. It's called greed. The greed of many. But we use a different word in the church. It's called sin. At a time when people are trying to relativize sin, that there is no such thing, we have more crime, we have more destitution, we have more anger than at any time in history in our life, in our lifetime. It's called corruption of the soul. And it's in that spirit that Jesus Christ, and we hear about him in the Old Testament reading this morning, came to admonish us, to comfort the afflicted, to give peace to those who mourn. And in the gospel, to give drink to a starving little boy, to give a dress to a girl who has no clothes. Are these things real or are they metaphysical? No, they're real. When I was in Haiti the first time, it was shocking to me to watch a group of children playing soccer. They didn't have a soccer ball. They were kicking around a stuffed animal they found in the garbage dump. What shocked me was to find preschool, pre-teens, 10, 11, 12-year-old boys and girls playing soccer, and many of them had no clothes on, including the girls. I said, why don't these kids have clothes on? I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been a military chaplain. I've been in some horrible situations. I've never seen something like this. Why don't they have clothes on? They're told they have no way to get them. Our churches in South Florida, already years and years ago, started a program where we take bed linens and pillowcases. And you cut a hole in one end of a pillowcase, put some holes in there for arms, and got a dress. And those dresses we give to the orphan kids like gold. How many of you make dresses for your kids and grandkids out of pillowcases? There are times when there's nothing to eat. That's hard to comprehend. I show pictures up here because it's not early, I guess, huh? I show pictures up here once in a while that try to illuminate what is destitution. Not poverty. We have a lot of poverty in America that's growing. We have no destitution. Destitution is when you die. And in Haiti, when mothers have no food to feed their children, what they do is they go down to the riverbanks and they scoop up some mud and clay and make little cookies. They're called clay cookies. When a child is screaming from hunger because the child hasn't eaten for a day or 2 or 3 days, no food. Now they have to have some drink. So they go down to the riverbanks, and we see some here if they get that running. It's putrid with animal waste, human waste. That's the water they drink. The greatest commodity you can find in the world is fresh water. But what do the mothers do? What does the grandmother do? When you got kids that have not eaten for 3 days, they're crying, their tummy is hurting, What the mothers in Haiti do is they break off little pieces of that cookie, put a little sugar on it, a little Kool-Aid, and give that to a child. It does work for a short period of time because this is heavy in calcium. The same stuff we use in Brolaids and antacids, things like that. But there's something else in this particular little cookie. They don't see it. It's called bacteria. And even if they could, most of these people are illiterate, another great scourge of the planet. Close to 30%, like 27% of human beings on this planet are illiterate. They wouldn't understand bacteria anyway. And they give this to the children because it works. It's a rhetorical question, but how many of your grandmothers have ever given your grandkids mud for lunch? How many of you kids have ever eaten stuff like this? We plead with them, don't give this to your kids, don't kill them. We'll get us food, we'll beg, we'll do anything we can with the people of God. Ask them for $1, for $1,000, for $5,000. Not only that, you can get food, but you can go take your kids and get them in school. Because if they're illiterate all their life, they have no hope, they have no chance. Sometimes I do go to our schools and I see the little kids, first, second, third grade, singing so beautifully, so lustily, Jesus loves me. I never say this to them, but I know in my own heart, about half of you kids already have no chance. Because you're hungry, because you're sick, because you have no power of literacy. Food for the Poor came in only 32 years ago. A group of Christian laity were deeply moved by what they had seen in the Caribbean. They were in the import-export business. They know how to get stuff. But they discovered Haiti, discovered some of the poverty in Jamaica, some of the poverty in Central America. Said, we are, by God's grace, have to help these people. We're not going to wait for government because they squirrel the money for themselves anyway. And that's how Food for the Poor came into being. That was 32 years ago. And they started with 2 100-pound bags of rice that public grocery stores gave them. In 32 years later, our budget, what we send out, is over $1.3 billion. Never have a desire to grow, but simply by God's grace and the generosity of the people of God, they have responded to that call. There are 2 things we do. That's what I want to leave with you. My sermon is very abbreviated this morning. We provide resources to existing ministries. Now, we do feed over 1 million people every day. But our primary ministry has shifted as we began to realize another cause of illiteracy other than corruption, that's a big cause of it, is also the fact that children are illiterate. Just like Lazarus. He has no power. And when people are illiterate, they are like flotsam floating down the rivers with no direction at all, except in one direction. And so one of our big ministries is education. We support close to 1,000 schools. Now, when I say support, I don't mean we pay the entire budgets. We provide resources to help those who have brought into being that resource. We have no desire to own things, to own property and say, this is ours. We support others, like being Aaron upholding Moses' arms. We go to all of our ministries at least once a year and say, what do we need? What can we get for you? We get the stuff. And that's so critical. You know, I have a brother, he's gone to glory now, but he was in Africa for 45 years as a missionary. And he and his wife was pastors, his wife's father was pastor too. They went to Africa, filled with the Spirit of Christ, with great love. Within 6 months, he was totally frustrated. He said, I have no resources. I can't do anything. I want to visit 50 different locations throughout Africa, and I don't even have a bicycle. And I can't walk to 50 places all over Nigeria. And those of us brothers back home, we went and put together a bike for him. Went to some old bike shops, picked up a frame on a garbage dump, and we made him a bike. And sent it to him. That increased his ministry. And the Great Mission Society, Lutheran Women's Missionary League of our church, heard his plea, and they got him a used VW bus in southern Germany, and they mailed it to him and gave it to him, and that would increase his ministry bountifully. It quadrupled what he could do. You see, that's resources. With the military background which I have, I realize how important it is that you have to have a supply lines. You can't tell a group of Marines, take that hill, but sorry guys, we have no weapons for you. No ammunition, use your own ingenuity. Where we can't tell the 6th Fleet in the Mediterranean, want you to steam, want you to protect people on the Black Sea close to Russia or the Olympics. But we got a secret for you guys. We have no gas. See if we can get some. They have a lot of it over there. We send missionaries out with great educations, great seminaries, great degrees. But this is not true of the Lutheran Church alone. It's true of all the churches. We don't provide the resources that they need. And sometimes we're so busy building our own cathedral, we don't supply those who are giving their lives for the hungry, for the destitute, for Lazarus. What was the gospel this morning? Where do you find Jesus? My question is, have you seen Jesus lately? Where do you find Jesus? Well, when the little boy is hungry, you give him some food. The little girl is naked, you give her a dress. A sick mother is thirsty, give her a drink. It's not that complicated. You don't need boards and committees and meetings to discuss all this stuff. You see a hungry kid, give him some food. You see a thirsty boy, give him a drink. That's what we do. Find out what is your need and we'll respond to it. And what is important is how we respond. We do not work in through with any governments. We pay very few, most of the time none, tariffs and taxes, because here there is such corruption. We work exclusively through Christian missionaries. And a missionary may be the traditional one, we think, who's seminary and clergy oriented, but there are many other missionaries. Some of our most effective missionaries are farmers, helping the people grow better crops, helping them with their husbandry. How do you take care of animals? Farmers. It may be a headmaster of a school. We'll go to it. It may be a nun. Say, we are ecumenical. Say, sister, what do you need? We'll get it for you. And that's where we make distribution. If I give $1,000 to my brother, I know where he's going to put it. And it's going to go to help people. I've seen so many wonderful nuns taking care of orphanages in desolate situations, like Mother Teresa. Give them $1,000 or even $500. Say, buy something for yourself. They wouldn't touch a dime of that. It goes right to the kids. Those are the people that we use for distribution. If you take that little brochure that is in the bulletin this morning, if you've got one of these brochures, I'd like to have you open it up a little bit. I'd like to just talk a little for a moment about that brochure. I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it. But you will find that, and it's an amazing thing, what is possible for the people of God to supply as resources. You see, last week we had the Super Bowl. Now, I don't want to beat up on the Super Bowl as much as I maybe would like to. But Super Bowl was held in Miami a couple of years ago. And a ticket was $800 for a parking spot near the stadium. Most of the average tickets that you bought in the street were $3,500. But you could get a cheaper parking ticket for $400 if it was 5-10 miles away and you got on a bus. We have money. The United Nations came out with statistics at the end of 2012. And they said on the world economy, not the U.S. economy, on the world economy, if anybody here is making $25,000, you're in the upper 5% of wealth of the world. $25,000. If anybody here is making $50,000, you're in the upper 1%. Now, I know you can't compare apples and oranges and peaches and pears. There are all kinds of variables. I know that. But it just sort of makes a little distinction. Christmas is not that far away. And I'm sure there are some people, anybody here know how to text? You've ever heard of texting on an iPhone? Everybody knows how to do that. What's a little iPhone cost? It's $200, they come down. $300 for the new version, $350. Then the iPhones, the iPads, the this, the that. And all the kids have them. Then you have to have a plan, depending on how many apps you got. $50 a month, $300 a month. Do you realize that for a $20 donation, you can feed over 400 children for $20? And many are starving. You can help work on that 15 million people that died. Our meals cost us 6 cents a meal for beans and rice. 6 cents a meal. And everybody can help. If you can provide a gift. And I don't have time to go into all the education that we do. Hundreds of schools that we support. But the education is not just in the classroom. We teach the women how to sew. We teach the girls how to set flowers. Many of the flowers that you find in the hospitals today, yesterday were in Honduras. During the night they are shipped up in big cargo planes. And they're at the wholesalers by 5 in the morning, and they're in the freezer for us by 7 o'clock. We teach girls how to grow those flowers. Not just education in general. We teach them how to build wells. We build some of the wells with them. to be able to learn how to take care of themselves. That is our goal. To help people who are indigent, who are desperate, who are illiterate, to learn how to help themselves. And we keep them on our rolls only for 6 months. We don't have an endless welfare program. We're not welfare. We are here to help people grow, to help them not just survive, but how to thrive. That's our goal. And we get people learning how much they want to work, and we find them jobs. And I'm going to take off just a few ministries. Tilapia ponds, we have hundreds of those. Fishing villages, we build hundreds of those. The agricultural ministry, all kinds. And they are all geared to letting people know we come in the name of Jesus Christ. We come to do what he is replicating for us, compassion and love. Don't have time to go into how education in America started by the Christian churches. Hospitals started by the Christian churches. Every Ivy League school was started by a Christian church except the University of Pennsylvania. Harvard was started by the Pilgrims for a seminary. Yale, the Congregationalists. Princeton, the Presbyterians. Every hospital. Why do you have so many schools that have names like Notre Dame and Marquette and Fordham? Like Concordias, like St. Olaf, like Lutheran schools, Catholic schools. Why do we have many hospitals? Who started the hospital movement in this country to take care of the weak and the compassionate? It was the Christian churches who got together and fulfilled the mandate of Christ to go and love one another. That's why so many hospitals have the name of Baptist Hospital, Lutheran Hospital, St. Mary's, St. Jude's, St. Mark's, whatever it might be. All these religious names, why are they so religious? Because in the early history of our country, it was the compassion of Christians that built education and hospitals and mental hospitals, Dorothea Dix hospitals. So what that, we're replicating that in the Central America. We're replicating that in the Caribbean. Giving people the gospel of Jesus Christ, but not with just words for the mind, for the heart, so that we can love a little girl by giving her a pillowcase dress. If you take this brochure, you'll see there's a little yellow line here. I make an envelope. Now, what kind of a beggar do you think if I come here and didn't have an envelope in my back pocket? What you can do is you can put money in here. It's a little envelope. $100 bills fit fine. I know you don't have that kind of money. But I make it real easy. All you have to do is take a check out of your wife's checkbook. And man, that's what checkbooks are. They're the first. But and then take a check out and sign your name on the bottom right hand. I'll fill in all the blanks, so don't worry about it. Fishing boat only costs about $2,000. We build about 10,000 houses a year. That's about $3,200 for a nice house. But if you don't have money, you don't have a check, you can use a credit card. The nice thing about a credit card, you don't even have to have one. Just borrow one. Just borrow one. Remember my family sitting there. Diane is my son's wife's sister, whatever that is. Daughter-in-law once removed. Okay. She has 5 credit cards. Just see her. She'll give you a credit card. You know, I'm a little facetious because I never liked to talk about money in churches. I never did. I never liked stewardship sermons. I said the people of God will respond, and most of them they do. But I've changed my mind. When you've got a whole bunch of little boys and girls, 10, 11, 12 years old, they're all got their arms around your legs like you do with your grandkids, and they look in my eyes and say, would you be my grandpa? I never had a grandpa. Would you be my friend? That changed my mind. I'll ask anybody for $1,000, $5,000, whatever you can. Or 50 cents. I got a little envelope once, a little boy, 37 cents in an envelope. He had written on the envelope, if you need more, I can get some more. That was worth $1 million, because his heart was moved in the right direction. P.T. Niles, the great missionary to India, was once asked, what does it mean to be a disciple of Christ? And his answer was simply this: to be a true disciple is simply and profoundly one poor beggar showing another beggar where to find a piece of bread. Welcome, brothers and sister beggars. You're all beggars. We are all beggars. I'm advocating for the poor. I'm advocating for Lazarus. But we all have an advocate. That advocate, as we stand before the Lord, in this great gospel read, we didn't read the whole thing, that's when we stand before the judge and Jesus himself stands with us. God the Father says, why shall I let you into my heaven? What have you done? I might say, well, I started 9 churches, Lord. I was chairman of the board of elders. I was chairman of the building. I've done a lot of stuff for you, Lord. He says, I don't know your name. And then there is somebody who comes forward and says, wait a minute, Father. I know this man. I know this girl. I know this boy. I've known them since baptism. Jesus Christ is our advocate. We need an advocate just as much as Lazarus does. And we have him in Christ. And now we come forward and receive his body and blood in the Holy Eucharist. We come for the strength of our faith, forgiveness of our sins, but not for ourselves. Not so that we just have a nice warm fur coat, but we do it so we can go out into the world and be Christ to others. You might think I'm talking about fruits of the Lord. No, not at all. The message really today is do something bigger than yourself. And I've been a pastor long enough to know that I look at a group of people right here. Some of you are afraid, some of you are thrilled, some of you are happy, some of you are scared about something, some of you are depressed. There's so many emotions. And maybe instead of giving a gift of food for the poor, what you have to do today is give somebody a hug and say, I love you. Or say, I'm sorry I treated you badly, or I forgot to come to your daughter's wedding, or whatever it might be. Make peace with one another. Because as we come to the Lord's table, he says, your sins are forgiven. Go in peace. Now this morning I'm going to have to leave. I usually have people greet me at the door and give me a brochure. But I have a 1 o'clock flight. So I've got to stop. What a blessing it is for you, but I have to stop. But as you come to the Holy Eucharist, you come to communion, right in the front row where you put the little individual cups, there's a red little basket. And if you have a brochure to give to me, you can put it in that little red basket and I'll make sure to get it before I leave town. But I will not have a chance to greet you, so I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ. And if you can provide a gift, you can put it in the little red basket or you can mail it in too. Thank you, Pastor. And God's peace and blessings be to us all. So we rise as we continue with the Apostles' Creed.